Hey, Mike here. Welcome back to Uncommon Pallor, and welcome back to another collection update. This one's a little bit different. All the collection updates I've done before this have mostly been comprised of stuff I got through mail order, because once COVID hit, what else are you going to do? But the last couple weeks I've managed to get out and do some in-person digging. So last weekend in particular, we had a campus discs meet. Now, Campus Discs is it's a guy from Toronto that travels around Southern Ontario to college and university campuses, and he sells records there. It's open to the public, but it always happens on a weekday. I'm always at work. But this time, this Facebook group that I belong to, that I kind of use for, the members of that group are into more mainstream stuff than I am, but I use it to, fill holes in like my Sabbath collection or whatever. I can get some, some kind of cool offbeat old new wave records and shit there. But this time the Campus Discs thing was in conjunction with one of the members of this group, so he hosted it at his house, and it was on a Saturday. So, they took all the COVID precautions. They did they took everybody's information for contact tracing, and you had to wear masks and, halfways practice social distancing and whatever. But I kind of expected it would, again, just be a lot of old rock shit, but there was actually some gems in there. So yeah, we'll jump into it with probably my favorite gem that I picked up, and that's the Montraco 12-inch pressing of the Viletones Screamin' Fist EP. It's from 1978. Montraco is a label from Ottawa. I was kind of hoping I'd find the Action 12-inch that they also put out, but no such luck. This record was actually released in 77 first on Vile Records as a 7-inch, which I also have. But I know people that have this. I've just never actually personally seen a copy until now, and it was like $10. So yeah, I'm totally into that. If you're not familiar with the Viletones, they're one of, actually, if not the most important early Toronto punk band. Completely, they did not give an ounce of fuck. The singer, he called himself Nazi Dog, for shock value, of course. Unapologetic, kind of just simple, dumbed down, thuggish kind of punk rock. Very influential. They played around at the time with bands like the Diodes and the Ugly and the Curse and stuff like that. But I still need to look back in anger, 7-inch or 45. If anyone has a copy and wants to get rid of it, let me know. So yeah, that was a fucking great score. Here we got more old Toronto stuff. This is from 79. It's a band called The Government Electric Eye. It's on a label called Voicepondence. These guys are more of a new wave kind of punk hybrid, I guess. They kind of go into the no wave kind of feel now and again. Very weird. This sounds like it's being played over top of a film that's playing in the background. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very weird record. It's not something I could sit to and listen. I couldn't listen to their stuff for like hours on end because it would just kill me. But the vocalist has kind of a monotone approach, and it's almost like he's reading like some weird kind of like free form poetry or something. Like it's his vocal style is kind of a recital type quality to it. Very monotone, very strange, very arty. So yeah, that's The Government. I had their 7-inch before this, and it's a lot more no wave than that is. Yeah. And then yet another record by The Government. Guest list. This one's on Jackal. It's from 1980. It's pretty much more the same as the first one. Production's a little bit better. You can tell they learned to play a little bit better since that first record, but it's still pretty weird and experimental. I've never seen either of those before. Like I said, I have the 1 7-inch. It's called like 33 and a third RPM EP or something. But yeah, those two are completely new to me. Was surprised to find them. And then a classic, DOA, War on 45 from 1982. It's on Fringe Product. Great record. I've owned this a million times in my life. This is actually an upgrade from the one that I had. Yeah, the cover of Edwin Starr's War is fantastic. It's cover of Class War by the Dills on here. Just, you know, great Canadian punk rock from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with DOA, but it's fantastic. Next, another kind of surprise on Fringe Product. Alien Sex Fiend. Who's Been Sleeping in My Brain? This is from 1984. I've had this before. I had this when I was a teenager. See, it's signed by Nick Fiend and Mrs. Fiend, which I didn't notice till I got it home, but that's kind of neat. Yeah, I had this when I was a teenager. Wasn't so much into it because I was, I wanted loud, noisy, fast punk rock, and this was not that. This is, fundamentally, this has a Cramps feel to it, but there's a lot more of an industrial element to it, and yeah, it's experimental in its own way, I guess. Obviously they're big with the goth folks, so there's that. But I don't know. The vocals remind me of Iggy Pop in some points, and then just the music fundamentally is like the Cramps. So yeah, I was kind of surprised to find it. Vinyl Richie did kind of a more at-length thing about this band. He loves them. I'm more of a passive listener. Not something I'm gonna go hog wild over, but whatever. It was cool. Next, Beastie Boys Cookie Puss. Originally released 1983 on Rat Cage. This one's also on Rat Cage. I'm not actually sure what press it is. A lot of them were supposed to have a poster. This doesn't. You know what? I'm not a real big, huge Beastie Boys fan. I can appreciate them for what they are, and what the impact they've had on music. But really, this is just, old hip hop rap that, I don't know, just doesn't do a whole lot for me, but whatever. Figured I'd give it a shot because I never really paid attention to this record before. So, yeah. Next, Rock and Roll High School soundtrack. Everybody loves Rock and Roll High School, I think. A lot of people like the Ramones. Guess a lot of people don't. This one has, obviously, except the Ramones, Nick Lowe, Brian Eno, PJ Souls, Devo, Eddie and the Hot Rods, Brownsville Station, Chuck Berry, Todd Rundgren, and Alice Cooper. I'd never actually seen it. It was cheap as fuck, so I picked it up. It's on Sire. It's from 1979, so, it doesn't really need a lot of explanation. Another one that doesn't need a lot of addressing, really. Devo, live. It's these guys that are live at the Fox Warfield in San Francisco in 1980, August 16th. I'd just never seen this record before. I have a bunch of Devo records. This is one I've never seen turn up. I don't think I really have to explain what Devo sounds like to anyone. They're just complete trendsetters. Started a whole lot of fucking shit in the music industry as far as sound goes. So yeah, that's on Warner Brothers. It's from 1981. Now here's an interesting one. I've never seen this record before. I've never seen anything by her before, actually, but it's Joanna Went, Hyena. It's from 1982. It's on Posh Boy. Now, I first became familiar with Joanna Went. Well, actually, the only time, really, I've ever heard of her was in this book, Hardcore California. And it was mainly because this picture of Joanna Went has kind of stuck in my head for years because it's just so fucking weird. And, by and large, her music sounds like this photo looks. It is a fucking descent into madness set to music, basically. She was she's still alive, I believe, but she's a performance artist who, kind of worked out of L.A., and she hung out with, like, Tomato Duplanty from the Screamers and all those, like, early L.A. punkers. Yeah, and she would do, shows where it was performance art and music, but her music is just so fucking weird, but I really like it. And I'm kind of, kicking myself for not paying attention to her more. I just saw an interview with an actress on YouTube recently, and she mentioned how much she liked Joanna Went, so I kind of thought it was coincidental that I found the LP. I can't remember who the actress was, though. But, yeah, I mean, there's, like, it's just a weird new wave with kind of an industrial feel. Her vocals, though, they kind of, it's like they're kind of a weird tape loop, like they waver and they go too fast and then they slow down to the proper speed, and it's just very, very, very strange. I mean, it's definitely not for everyone, but it's for me. I'm into it. She only has another record, and it's like a 7-inch, so I might have to check that out. And then we have Anvil, Forged in Fire. Anvil's from Toronto, which is, I guess, kind of semi-local to me. I actually don't see Anvil records very often in the wild. Aside from Metal on Metal, if I do see an Anvil record, it's always Metal on Metal. This is from '83. It's on Attic Records. This is the title track of this is actually the first Anvil song I ever heard, because it was on the Metal for Breakfast comp, and it's kind of like almost like doom metal before there was doom metal. It's very slow and just heavy. There are other tracks on here that are kind of more up tempo, straight up metal tracks, but Forged in Fire is the one that kind of sticks with me because I heard it first. But yeah, never see this record very often, so I picked it up. I'm sure everybody's familiar with him after that documentary anyways, so, which was kind of a masterpiece. Now we got Killer Dwarfs, another Ontario band. Stand Tall. This is, I think it's their second record. It's on Grudge. It's from 1986. I love the first record. It's metal. It's hard rock. It's kind of a mix of the two. Kind of goofy. They're from Oshawa, Ontario, which is just east of Toronto a little bit. I've seen them a few times. Always a good show. Singer does all these weird, like, goofy gymnastics and shit. This record's, where the first one kind of reminded me of, like, Riot or the Rods or something like that. This is way more, mainstream, kind of almost pop metal at times. I remember the video for Stand Tall off this was always played on Much Music back when I was a kid, but I don't know. This record's always expensive when I see it. This one was really cheap, but it's not something I'm going to listen to a lot. More of a completist thing. Well, never going to be a completist with them. They have like 20 albums, and I'm not really interested in most of them. Next, 1984, Tokyo Blade, Night of the Blade, on Bonsai Records. A little bit of fucking water damage down here, but what can you do? Tokyo Blade's one of those weird bands where the songs that I like, I really, really like, but most of their stuff I don't care for. The good songs, they're, new wave of British heavy metal, kind of like maybe Angel Witch mixed with like a harder edged like Def Leppard or something. But then the songs I don't care for are actually just full blown, just about to break it big Def Leppard type stuff. It's, I don't know, it's just kind of ballady and not really my thing. But the harder edge songs on these records, just like Midnight Rendezvous, their other one, it's got some great tracks, but it's got a whole lot of sucky tracks too. So, whatever. It's Bonsai. Another one that really needs no introduction, but I picked it up anyway. Dio, Holy Diver. But I also got the Last in Line. Had them both on cassette forever. Just never really bothered with them on vinyl. Now I have both of them. They're both on Warner Brothers, 83 and 84 respectively. I mean, what are you really gonna say? Everybody knows who Ronnie James Dio is. Looks like Carla from Cheers. Has a great fucking metal voice. Died too soon. It was in Rainbow. Was in Sabbath. You know, was in Elf. Except at this point he was known as Ronald Patavona. This is from 72. Yeah, 72. It's on Epic. Blues rock, based out of New York City. Yeah, I don't like most of this record, but the last song on here, Gambler Gambler, is a fucking banger. It just sounds like a heavy, like, Johnny Winter song or something. It's fucking great. The cover's pretty weird, but as for most of the record, take it or leave it. It's just pretty standard blues rock. A lot of people just go apeshit over this, but I think it's just because they think it's cool to like Dio. But whatever, is what it is. One song, really. Then we have a 1977 Capricorn Records repress of the Captain Beyond self-titled. I have a first Canadian press of this, but the cover's different. It's just a giant, like, you know, it's this guy. It's the whole cover. This one's got this weird shit. But, yeah, I never pass up a Captain Beyond record. They're great. LA band. Larry Reinhardt, guitar player of Iron Butterfly, he was in this. Bass player of Iron Butterfly was also in this, who, I can't remember his name. And the singer was Rod Evans, who was with Deep Purple, the guy that sang Hush. Fantastic, 70s hard rock. It was originally released in, I think, 72 or 71. Yeah, awesome. It's like proto-metal, lots of weird drumming patterns, odd stops and starts, heavy. It's just a great band. As the records progressed, they kind of got a little less interesting to me, but by and large, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know about them because there's kind of been a kind of a hipster interest in 70s rock in the last couple of years, so... We have Jayne County, Rock and Roll Resurrection. Jayne County, the first openly transgender singer in rock and roll, was in the Electric Chairs, who were blatantly offensive, as the record called them, or record was titled. Yeah, this is from, this was recorded in Toronto at the Edge in 1980. Musically, it's kind of like that kind of old sleazy glam rock, like the York Dolls type shit or something. But Jayne's got a pretty distinctive singing style. Kind of a lot of, a mix-up of talking and singing. Yeah, very distinct. This one's on, it's on Attic Records. So, yeah, I'd never seen it before, and it's recorded live in Toronto, so the recording's actually pretty good. Generally, I don't like live records, but that one's okay. Now here's a band actually, that's it for the Campus Discs ones. The last few that I have here are just ones I found at a couple of antique malls I went to. Got the Shop Assistants. It's what's it called? Safety Net. It's on 53rd and 3rd Records. I never paid much attention to the Shop Assistants. I'm not sure that I've actually even heard them, but I've heard people cover them. Like, I think Fucked Up did some covers of Shop Assistants songs. Didn't really know what to expect. It's actually pretty good. It's like an indie rock type thing, but the female vocalist, and she's kind of got this almost like a haunting quality to her vocals, and it's a lot more raw than a lot of indie rock stuff. It's from when is this from? 1986. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 1986. They're from Edinburgh, Scotland. Yeah, it is what it is. Just noisy indie rock. It's pretty pleasant. I'd buy more if I saw it. I think this might be the only Shop Assistants record I've ever seen, though. And New Model Army, self-titled. It's on EMI. It's from '87. This band kind of defies description because they're a mishmash of like every musical style you can think of. Like there's kind of indie rock, there's goth, there's punk, there's industrial, there's techno. They're just kind of all over the place. Some songs better than others. They have a pretty rabid, cult following, I suppose. And I get it. I totally get why. It's just, there's definitely other people that would like this more than me, but still pretty good. Not something I reach for a whole lot, though. The song My Country I really, really like. And then finally, band from San Francisco. It's from 1980. It's on Warner Brothers. It's Pearl Harbor and the Explosions. I have a 45 by them somewhere. I just read the Alice Bagg book, and she hung out with the singer of this band quite a bit, so there's mention in the book. Definitely new wave. It's got power pop qualities to it. There's a punk influence too, but more that you can tell they're really influenced by X. So that's kind of where it's that kind of a punk influence. Pretty good. Like with New Order, there's some songs are way better than others. The one I like on here the most is Shut Up and Dance. That's a good song. But, yeah, I just figured I'd give her a shot. It's okay. So, yeah, I pounded through all that shit. 21 minutes. Cool. Bye.